Is the cycle over for Hedera and Kaspa? We're going to talk about that. And if it's not over, then what would be some catalysts to send those to either new cycle or all-time highs? In the case of Kaspa, it would be all-time and cycle highs. And in the case of Hedera, it would be cycle, potentially all-time highs. Are those numbers achievable, or is there just too much bearish downside pressure? We have some updates on Bitcoin integration. Some of the largest payment platforms are integrating Bitcoin, including Stripe and Square. What could that potentially mean for the crypto markets? We're going to talk about Cardano. Akash is looking for a new home, and there was 4 layer ones they said no to. Cardano was one of them. We'll break down potentially why. We're going to take a look at gaming. The founder of one of last cycle's hottest games gave a manifesto. And what's wrong with gaming and what could potentially be? Is gaming done? Or is there a chance, is there an opportunity to make some money? We'll talk some RWAs and overall market, where we're at, where can we expect to go. With that being said, Gina, roll the intro.
Hola! It's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content where we take old, boring, stale information, we argue about stupid stuff, and then we also bring you the hottest price predictions, and, well, we try to help you make money. We're at $110,000 again. You know what? This Bitcoin thing just got me scratching my head lately. You look here on the 1 month, we're at 110,000. We've been here before. Nothing new here. However, a little concerning because if we lose 110, not really sure where the next level is. I think 104 is our last spot that we were at prior to getting to 110, which was way back in May. So, yeah, it would be a clear reversal trend. However, I don't think the bull market's over. I think that government shutdown has something to do with Bitcoin stalling here. Also, with the government shutdown, we've had a pause, or at least the SEC hasn't been around to approve ETFs. And so at this point in time, we were talking about Uptober. More, it's like Upchucktober or something like that. And you know what? I think it's off the back that the government's closed. I think that the stall that we're seeing is because there is a lack of liquidity going into, well, the government offices, which in turn go down to the people. And also, people are spending less money, then, well, companies get less money. And companies are also buying Bitcoin. So, when do you think this government shutdown is going to end? I don't want to make it political.
So you think the price action is because the government shutdown?
I believe if the government shutdown had not happened, what we would have saw was ETFs going live for Solana, Litecoin, Avalanche, Cardano, XRP, the spot products. And in turn, we would have seen at least some volatility, some money moving around, maybe seen some price drops, some big rebounds. And I think that also the fact that, I mean, how many government employees are there? I mean, I don't know.
Too many.
It's a lot, but you know, government employees get paid on the 1st and the 15th. Obviously, most people were already assuming they were going to get a paycheck today.
So
think about everyone in the government, man.
Yeah,
all military personnel that they get paid today, or they're supposed to, but they don't.
Correct, but I don't know if that would have had an impact. I mean, to kind of disprove your point, right? This is ETFs that are already live. This is this one I think is ETH. October 10th, minus 4.5 million. The 13th, 2 days ago, 326 million flowed out. And so if that thesis was true, or that's Bitcoin actually, sorry, this one is Ethereum. If that thesis was true about the government shutting down and the fact that we would have had those other ETFs and money would have flowed, well, these ETFs are live and money's been flowing out. So I don't know if that would have had a difference.
Well, I think that's one piece of the puzzle. I'm saying is that we're also seeing a stall in the economy right now. You can point to the stock market and say, hey, we have some green days, we have some red days, but overall, the economy is more or less taking a break here. Now take a look. This is on the 1 month here.
Whole thing taking a break.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the stock market. And so, going into October, this is the S&P 500, a good range, a good barometer on U.S. economy. And you can see here that at the first 3 or 4 days of October, we were doing pretty well, and then we just fell off a cliff. And it's been the whole month of October that the government's been closed. And think of all the government jobs, all the military personnel, anyone that receives a check from the government. They essentially had all of their money just frozen at this point. And so even though it doesn't affect people until the 15th for like military personnel gets paid on the 1st and the 15th, you probably were hesitant on spending yesterday, the day before. You probably weren't going out and, being, reckless with your cash because you're probably like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to get paid on the 15th this time. Government's still shut down. So let's eat at home tonight. And so I think that there's less money moving around in the economy because a lot of people are sitting at home.
So the stock market, NASDAQ since the beginning of the month is down 0.14%. The S&P since the beginning of the month is down 1.14%. And then when we go over to Bitcoin since October began, let's find October 1st. I believe it's right here. Since October 1st, Bitcoin is down around 3.2%. So not that big of a drawdown. Alts obviously.
But this is supposed to be October, right?
Correct.
We had a sideways September. No, it wasn't.
Take a look at this.
So okay. September, it was a green month, but it was still sideways consolidation.
But September's usually mild. I mean, look down the list.
That's right? What I'm saying is that we were supposed to. We had a down August. We had a consolidation
which is
in September.
For the course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
September was par for the course.
And then look at
October's not.
Exactly. That's my whole point. We're halfway through.
Here's my question though, okay?
What has changed between other Octobers? The government's closed.
Well, you can say a lot of things.
What else?
A lot's been different this cycle, hitting the all-time high before the halving even happened. QT, QT literally just ended yesterday. Stealth QT ended yesterday. And the timing has been off in previous cycles. But take a look at this. The last 2 red Octobers were bear market years. And so you might say, does that mean it's a bear market year? I don't know. Look in 2018, the last October, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 12 months closed in the red.
Let me ask you,
hold on. 2014, the second red October, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 12 months were red. Here we have so far only 3 out of the first 10 months are red. And so this is more in line with what we're seeing in bull markets, or at the very least.
That's what I mean. Every bull market we've had a green October, except for this one.
But we're halfway through the month. And so
yeah, and what has happened this first half of the month? The government's been shut down. That's my whole point. I'm not saying that and I'm not saying it's the only factor. I'm not saying that there's only one thing that has caused this, and it's one thing only. It's a government shutdown. No, you got tariffs. You got there's a lot at play here, right? There's politics, tariffs. There's the Fed rate is at a higher percentage than it typically is during other bull markets. There's a lot to play into this. I'm not saying that it's the only factor, but I'm just saying that hey. I put some weight to it, man. I think government being shut down, the potential ETFs that people were anticipating that probably had some kind of baked-in price factor to it, people were anticipating was coming, it just never happened, or it hasn't happened yet. That's all I'm saying. And I do think that once the government gets back open and we're back into, printing money, we're back into issuing checks for all the people that work for the country, I do think that we'll see crypto take off again. And I think this is why we stalled. Now, still good opportunity to make money. No, there's a lot of volatility in altcoins, not in the whole altcoin space, but you know, we've seen Dash come out of nowhere. We've seen Zcash perform very well. Zcash, interestingly enough, has performed almost counter to Bitcoin. And so when we see Bitcoin pull back, where's Zcash at here? When we see Bitcoin pull back, we've seen a rally out of Zcash. And so at different points, like yesterday, we saw Bitcoin dropping down to the 110 and Zcash rallied to 270. And so there's a lot of interesting movement in the market. It's kind of hard to put my finger on it. I would be very careful in how you trade this or when you enter and exit. I do think that you got to be really plugged into what is trending. And if you just solely rely on charts, I think you're going to get burned because a lot of the price action just doesn't make sense to me right now. But catch something as it's trending. Things in different sectors tend to rally together. So,
yeah, I'm not saying the government shutdown has nothing to do with it. I just don't know if it's enough to cause this sort of price depression in the markets. But yeah, I mean, you can't sit there and say that all these people that are either getting laid off, not getting paid, sectors of the government are shutting down essentially. No one's at the SEC. Also, the good thing is we don't really have to hear Elizabeth Warren yap her mouth about dumb shit. We also have a very exciting announcement we're going to make later today. But first, let's talk about the topic of today's show. Well, actually, before the first, I want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by, everyone talks about mining and revolution mining. Well, not revolution mining. Well, we're going to talk about revolution mining, but mining in general is a hot topic. The problem is people feel like they don't got money. It costs a lot of money to bump up mining and for it to be profitable. Well, Revolution Mining has figured out a way to get you into those Bitcoin block rewards without having to spend hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars setting up mining rigs. So they do it in three ways. One, you get your miners from them at cost. There's links in the description if you want to get more info. They give you access to the top performing Hydro ASICs. Number two, they host and power it for you with an ultra low rate of 0.052 kilowatts per hour. That is going to be billed monthly with no deposits, no support fees, no maintenance fees. And they do repairs for free included. And then, of course, the last thing is what you get paid. 50-50 is the split. You don't got to worry about any overhead outside of your monthly power bill. They'll handle all the operations, the monitoring, the maintenance, so you can literally just stay hands off. And so we're excited to be partnered with them. And if you want more info, I would highly recommend you guys. There's two links in the description. Go check out their website. These guys are the real deal. They're partnered with ERCOT in Texas. And so big thanks to Revolution Mining for being a channel sponsor. Speaking of mining, proof of work mining, Kaspa. Okay, so the title of today's show was, the thumbnail says cycle over, right? And then we've been pretty adamant. We don't believe the overall market cycle is over. But we've also said, Rob went down the graveyard of CoinMarketCap yesterday. For those coins, we can say the cycle is over, right? Well, what about two of our community's favorite coins? What about two of my favorite coins and Rob's favorite coins? Are the cycles over for them? And I think we need to have a honest discussion without worrying about hurting feelings. And so let's start with Kaspa. It is currently at 5.8 cents. You can see over the last 1 year, it is down 56%. We take a look at a Kaspa chart and pull that up real quick. And of course, as I probably try to sift through and find it, I'm just going to pull up a new chart. We'll do KuCoin, Kaspa. We'll go to the daily. Well, real quick on the daily, Kaspa did lose its 200-day moving average, which obviously is not a good thing. And then this macro kind of pattern here that we had, as you can see, this, call it a symmetrical triangle pattern that is a 50-50 on breaks. Obviously broke to the downside. We lost a key level of volume here at around 7.6 cents. But we did get one bounce already at this buy zone that I had on here for quite a while, which Kaspa consolidated and then had that massive rally. It tapped it 3 times now, and so far it is holding above. So the question then becomes, is this something you look at and say, what a great opportunity to get in cheap? Or is it something you look at and say, man, this is not good. I would move my money from Kaspa into something else. You take a look at some of the metrics. They are doing around 26 transactions per second. Max TPS theoretical is 3268. And you can see how those transactions are broken down. We're seeing some rise in the L2 with the smart contracts. And you take a look, transaction count. I mean, no fluff here, guys. It's completely fallen off a cliff. So has active addresses over the last 7 days. We zoom out to the last 30 days. Let's actually zoom out to the last 90 days. It had a pretty big spike in active addresses, and it's kind of been big spike up, big spike down. And then for the transaction count, outside of 2 really large spikes up to 63 million and then 158 million, it's been trending around this sub 1 million in transaction count for quite a while. So when you look at something like Kaspa, and we can even take a look at the KRC 20 tokens, and the highest market cap coin, actually, let's go by volume. Your highest volume is Kango at $194,000 over the last 24 hours, and that's got a market cap of $1.8 million. So when you look at a project like Kaspa, is this something that is a buy the dip opportunity, or is this something that you are shelving until potentially the next market cycle?
I see zero reason to purchase this at the moment. I mean, if you want to take a shot at price, sure. But if you were to sell me on Kaspa as far as like if we weren't even talking price, and you were saying, hey, I want you to invest in my blockchain, and say someone was pitching me the idea of like working for Kaspa or something, like what's the pitch? There's a lot of tech behind it. It's got a lot of transactions, capability doing transactions. It's proof of work. It's secure. I mean, there's things there, but what is missing is the product, is the ecosystem, is the use cases, the utility, it's the smart contracts. I know you got Casplex, but nobody's using it. And what you would need is it to rival smart contracts, the big boys, right? You need to have the DEXs and the perp DEXs and perhaps NFTs and I know there's the KRC 20s. I'm not saying that it does absolutely nothing or anything like that, but from a comparative standpoint with the layer 1 blockchains that are focused on smart contracts, it is non-existent on Kaspa. And these things take time to build. So even if everything was rolled out today and there was an upgrade and everything was operational and we could just start building everything you could dream up of, the thing is it's going to take years to get stable coins on there, the big ones. It's going to be years to get all of the proper listings for the exchanges, including the liquidity out of the deep exchanges. They refuse to pay to get listed, which you can say that's like a badge of honor or something. Okay, cool, that's great, but the reality of it is you're not going to grow until you get on the big exchanges. Or you can just hope to God that you grow over time to a point where the exchange will say, okay, there's enough volume here, we'll just foot the cost ourselves and list you.
Well, according to Binance, they don't charge listing fees. So
you still need to provide the liquidity. Doesn't matter if you. It doesn't matter if you don't charge for listings. Binance is not going to go buy $5 million, $50 million, $150 million worth of Kaspa to facilitate the order books. You do realize that you got to have a pool to, it's the same as like, let's say you're going to go on a DEX, right? DEXs don't charge you to have a trading pair, but somebody has to put up the liquidity, right? Someone has to put up the token. Someone has to put up. And so anyways, that's just one of many problems here. And I'm not going to risk my hard-earned money to be like, well, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 4 years, this will all come together. Fuck that. I'm not. There's so much, as people everyone around you in crypto is making money. Don't be the one guy holding on to something. I'm just saying that things change. Now, here's the thing. This thing crossed over 10 cents back in November of 2023. So it's been 2 years. So 2 years it crossed over 10 cents and it's at 5 cents. It missed the entirety of the bull market. It caught maybe the very first part of it. And so it had a rally in the early stages of the bull market or a late bear market, missed the whole bull market. You could have just made money holding ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, like anything would have been better than holding Kaspa.
Here's my thing, though.
And there's just nothing on the horizon.
You say, oh, it's got tech, it's great, but wasn't that the whole Cardano shtick for 5 years? Is everyone was so excited about the tech, it didn't really have a.
But Cardano came out at the same time as other layer ones that were promising tech. So Cardano was shortly after Ethereum. It was around the same time as BNB Smart Chain. It was around the same time as Tron. And so it was birthed. Cardano was birthed in a time where everyone was making promises. Ethereum didn't have any smart contracts, so everyone else was doing it, right? It was like, hey, yeah, one day we'll do this. We're building the tech. That was fine. That was 2015 kind of bullshit. That was 2016, 2017. You could do that. You'd be like, hey, look, invest now, be early. The tech is coming. But we are in 2025, bro. Like, we don't need no more tech is coming. The tech is here. That's like me talking about, like, one day we're going to build an electric car. Like, they're already here. There's already charging stations. There's already cars. Don't tell me to invest in an electric car company and eventually 10 years from now, you're going to roll out an electric car. And then tell me how revolutionary it's going to be. Like, that's already here. We're already in the environment of smart contracts. Smart contracts are already here. dApps are already here. Perp dexes are here. People are tokenizing real-world assets. The companies in America and globally are using blockchain. There's treasury companies. Like, the idea of we're going to build it in one day, it'll be great, we're too damn late. And if you're going to compare it to Cardano did it back in the day. Now, Cardano, they have also stalled on getting mainstream adoption
That was
through
going to be my
dApps.
question is, are you still bullish on Cardano?
I'm more bullish on Cardano versus Kaspa because
Why?
early adopter, it came out prior to Kaspa. If Cardano launched at the same time Kaspa did, I would say there's zero chance Cardano makes it. But because Cardano has so many early investors that believed in the tech, and also Cardano has something Kaspa doesn't, is a very vocal, persuasive leader that goes out and rallies the troops. Without Charles Hoskinson, brother, Kaspa will be deader than the fly trap outside.
Cardano
would be dead. It would be dead without Charles. Because without him hyping up the chain, what leg would they stand on? I'm just saying, like, if Charles just went ghost Satoshi style and just disappeared, would Cardano have any chance? Answer me that question.
At the current, no.
Exactly. So that's my whole point, is that early adopter, if we're going to compare Cardano and Kaspa, okay, great. Neither one of them have a large list of dApps, and Cardano is a lot further, but they also had a lot longer runway. And I hate to say it, but Charles has really just picked that thing up on his back and carried it. I mean, he does daily, or routine live streams and Q&As and goes, just at Token 2049. He's constantly trying to get the brand out there, make part of, he's active. Then you got Kaspa on the other end. We don't pay for listings.
Neither does Cardano.
No, but that's their whole PR, is we don't pay for listings. And then that's it. You don't hear nothing else. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of transactions.
Because it's not Kaspa's more relatable to like a bit tensor in terms of like there's like, yeah, we know who created BitTensor, but they're not some massive figure, right? Same thing with obviously Bitcoin. There's no figure.
BitTensor has representatives and people out here talking about it, pitching.
Community members. So does Kaspa. Kaspa's got a lot of community members.
No, not community, man. I'm talking about like devs, founders. Like there's people behind the scenes that aren't token holders that are pushing out. This is a project you should have exposure to, and here is why. We are changing the world, and this is why. I'm not seeing it from the press releases I've seen from Kaspa is, hey, like our tech. But it's like nobody's pushing the cart forward on dApps. I that's just how I look at it, dude. And I look at it this way. It's a number 55 on the market cap list. And so it's got a lot of money locked up into it. So there's a lot of people with a ton of money in Kaspa. And I would just say to you, like, man, if you got a large amount of Kaspa in there, I would take a very close look at sliding over to something else, man. And there's nothing wrong with jumping back in, dude.
I like Kaspa, not for this cycle, for the next cycle. And that's a risk.
What do you think is going to be built on there?
Well, you got to be fair, dude. Like the smart contracts just launched. The KRC standard was a few months ago, so it's fairly new.
So let me ask you: if it falls out of the top 100, and it goes from 5 cents to 1.5 cents, and we're in 2027, you think that at that point they'll bring in enough devs and get enough traction to shoot back up into the top 100 and break past because it's number 50 on the market cap. So you would have to get all the way back into, because I don't care what anybody says. There's zero chance this thing gets into the top 20 and like reverses and goes on some parabolic run without dApps of some kind. We're in a bull market. We're not in the early stages. Kaspa popped off in the bear market where there's nothing going on. Everything was collapsing and burning, and it was like, oh, here's something new. Like, here's a chance to make money. That's where it kind of came out of. And then now it's like, okay, now we're talking action. People are building. There's badass dApps out here. Let's go download Jupiter. There's all these cool perp dexes. There's Polymarket. Like there's RWAs. There's new ETFs. There's like a lot of things going on. There's a lot of excitement. Why the fuck are you going to invest in something that does nothing? And then just simply wait. Like, my God, 4 years from now, guys, it's going to come back. Well, how? I don't know yet, but it will. Like, that's how you lose your money, bro. That's how you lose your money. There's a long list of graveyard projects that, hey, next cycle, it's going to come back, guys. I showed you last time, man. Now, and once again, I'm just telling you the mentality of us simply holding for 4 years on something that is routinely losing against Bitcoin is idiotic. And the only thing I would say to that is I'm not telling you to sell and never look back, but perhaps put on pause and then enter back in when things reverse, sentiment reverses, some kind of excitement comes in. You know what? Like I've been expecting Solana to rally, but I've yet to buy it. I don't have a position on Solana at the moment, but it's going to happen. And you know what? I'll probably buy it at $270 or $285 at all-time highs. But I'm going to get in when the trend reverses. And I got no problem with that. I don't have any problem leaving a little bit of money on off the table. I don't mind missing out on some profits for waiting for a reversal. But what I am not going to do is ride a train out of this freaking country and crash that thing and lose all my money simply because eventually, hopefully, it'll come back.
This is a Kaspa Bitcoin chart. It is down 85% against Bitcoin since let's see, since June of 2024. So for me, I still think Kaspa has a chance. But my problem is having it be the staple of my portfolio. I think, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I think people need to give Kaspa time. The tech is really good. It does what really no one else can do. Let's just face it, right? 10 blocks per second, like kind of unheard of. You can argue maybe ICP, but it's not really proof of work. It's not really, some say it's not really even a blockchain. But anyways, my thing with Kaspa would be, and my strategy is that I'll buy the super lows, I'll buy the 80% drawdowns, as long as my thesis remains intact. And I'll buy small chunks and I'll just set it aside. And if the next cycle comes around and we don't make up ground on adoption, I don't necessarily just look at price, because you could look at Virtual's protocol. It got down to 600,000 market cap. 600,000 market cap. Can you imagine fading that by just simply looking at the price action? No, the way people like Forrest, the way people like myself said this is undervalued is because we looked at what's happening behind the scenes, what are they building, and what does the next 2-3 years look like? And then lo and behold, from 600K to $5 billion market cap. That, my friends, is an amazing return on your investment. So same thing with Kaspa, right? It's down to a penny, 2 pennies, 3, 5, I don't know. Right now it's at 5.5. If it gets down to 2 pennies, cool. At that point, I'll go and I'll look. What are they building? What's on their roadmap? Has anything changed? No. If I like the direction, I'll buy more and I'll sit on it. But I'm not buying it now in hopes of it going to $1 this cycle. It was different a year ago, right? Things change in a year. And so that's my Kaspa strategy. So I'm not going to sit here and say Kaspa's dead. I'm not going to sit here and say don't buy Kaspa. What I will say is, if you are going to buy Kaspa, don't make it a large part of your portfolio, and just buy it and knowing you're going to hold it for a significant amount of time, and be willing to look through each price dip, through each big announcement, through each big cycle, whatever, right? Your checkpoints, check in. Are they building? What are they doing? Is adoption growing? Are users growing? If it is, great. It dips again, buy more. If it's not, then reevaluate and decide, should I cut my losses and move somewhere else? Or do I think this thing can come back? So that would be my thesis with Kaspa. The only thing I'll say is I'm kind of with Rob on the fact that just like being like, I'm only going to hold Kaspa, or I'm only going to hold Cardano, or I'm only going to hold really anything, I think you're making, me personally, I think you're making a mistake. It's not something I would do. The only thing I would do that with, if you're just like buy and forget, I don't care, I don't want 100x maybe, I want steady growth year after year, is Bitcoin. If you want to be 100% in Bitcoin, be 100% in Bitcoin. Outside of that, my thing with altcoins is you got to be a little diversified.
Yeah, I look at it like it's a go to zero or make a lot of money. And the thing is it's at number 50 on the market cap. So you're going to have to hang out on there for a minute before. And even then, like,
yeah, it's been a minute, but
yeah, I mean, if you want to wait for it to drop outside the top 100 to get a position and then get in, but I see there's no evidence that it's going to stay within the top 100 in my opinion. Not in this next 2 years. I think that the projects that are building are going to grow in market cap, and they're going to push those that are not building out of contention. And so, Crypto Jeb's up in there. What's up, brother?
What's up, Jeb? How are you?
See you. Watching his TA the other day. Mastermind.
Straight up.
Mastermind. He was in a studio with us last
he was
Bitcoin conference.
Yeah. It's coming back next year. Okay, so we talked about Kaspa. Now let's talk about Hedera. Kind of same idea, same question. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We all know. We interviewed Mance Harmon. He's stepping up as the chair of the governing council. What's that going to look like? Yeah. What are your thoughts on Hedera? Crypt Tony said already unsubbed from this trash. See you later. Bye, Tony.
Yeah.
Anyways, Hedera.
Win some, you lose some. I like Hedera. I think that the direction they're going is what you want to see out of a blockchain kind of in that market cap range. Hedera is, outside the top 10. It's at number 19. However, it is, holding up quite well in this bull market right now. Might have underperformed Bitcoin at different stages. However, we did go from 5 cents to 18 cents over the course of a year. So a 12-month return, pretty good here. And also, they have a lot of financial incentives per corporations. And so there's a lot of big money behind them. And I think that what we've seen is that this bull market has been fueled by institutions. And this is an institution play. I'll be honest with you, I have yet to meet somebody outside of our community and outside of like the immediate crypto associations I have. I've never heard anybody say, "Hey man, I've been using Hedera. I downloaded some Hedera dApps." Let's be real. Their play, RWAs, and perhaps soon to be stable coin, get more of a stable coin presence. And I think that that's what they're going to do best with. And I think that when companies decide that they want to have exposure to crypto, either offering crypto services or getting plugged into crypto in some way, I think that Hedera is going to be a no-brainer. I think they have the governing council with a lot of big names that people can easily move over to or associate, like, hey, like I know these are familiar names. I trust them, right? It's the same way, like, how do you build trust? You see that they have, when you talk about just building trust in general, like with people, if you have a group of people that all rely and quote unquote trust somebody, that's when you gain trust, right? It's just nature, right? It's human nature. It's just how we operate. As you see more and more people trust somebody, essentially you gain other people's trust, strangers, right? And so I think that is its biggest win here, is the fact that it has such big names behind it. This being an institution-driven bull market, I think institutions are going to keep accelerating adoption into crypto, and I think that Hedera is a no-brainer. It's performed decent for this bull market. It's not the strongest performer. I think that there are some more big breakouts that come out, and then tech is good. Tokenomics is not bad, and so
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got a capped supply, so
yeah.
No endless inflation. I would argue that Hedera is under the fire more than Kaspa is, because Hedera's whole shtick is institutions. Well, this is the institution bull market, right? And so if they can't grab market dominance in the three large sectors, stable coins, artificial intelligence, and RWA, in the institutional world, if they're not going to grab it this cycle, when are they going to grab it, right? Because these large legacy companies, these institutions, I'm sorry, but if they make a decision and they go with ETH or they go with Solana or they go with, I don't know, whatever, I don't see them, unless something goes wrong or unless Hedera comes out with something revolutionary, that they're going to be like settled in and all of a sudden, we're going to go to Hedera. No, just like saying Swift and DTCC have spent the last 2 years working with Chainlink. There's almost a zero chance that there's going to be like, you know what? The last 2 years, we learned a lot. We're going to go with Solana. We're going to go with Pith. It's just not happening. And so, to me, like, Hedera is under the gun right now. And so I believe that they're going to come through. I think the governing council is going to serve them very well, those connections they have and those resources they have available. Manson, Lehman, amazing founders, super smart. Question is, are they going to get the market share, and are they going to grab some of that dominance? So we'll find out. But 18-cent Hedera, it's at a 9 billion fully diluted market cap. Lucio said it's so undervalued. Yeah, if it gets the adoption, it is absolutely so undervalued. But for this cycle, I think Hedera has definitely got more upside than Kaspa because of everything I just mentioned. Unless Kaspa, something revolutionary happens where maybe it's a big partnership, some DApp comes out, or I don't know. And yeah. I also have a poll up in the chat. Who will make a new all-time high first, Hedera or Kaspa? We got 240 votes so far. I'll close this in a little bit. We're at 64% Hedera and 35% believe that Kaspa is going to make a new all-time high first. Sergio said, garbage cycle. It's a lot of people's sentiment of this cycle. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on with the U.S. government. They got more Bitcoin. Not because they bought, because they took away. U.S. officials are moving to seize 127,000 Bitcoin, valued at around $12 billion, which was tied to a international fraud scheme ran by Cambodian national Chen Ji. This was known as the pig butchering scam. Seizure would bring the U.S. government total to 325,000 Bitcoin, worth over $37 billion. You know, it's been a while since we've seen some seizures of Bitcoin. Feels like we're back, you know? Are we so back or what?
Back. Yay, U.S. is stealing Bitcoin again.
Love it. Love it. No need to buy when you can just take, right? Let's talk about some Bitcoin integrations. Stripe adds crypto stablecoin payments for subscriptions. Now, just to let you guys know, Stripe services around 90-something% of all small businesses in the United States. And for me, and we're a small business, for us to sit there, because you can't imagine the fees we have to pay. When someone pays an invoice by credit card when we do the studio rentals, the 4 or 5% fee. If they do ACH, it takes like 7 days. I'm sorry, but we're going to start asking people to pay us in stable coins. Well, maybe give them a discount to do so. It's fast, it's cheap, it's in our wallet immediately, and so this is great. Again, 90-some-odd% of small businesses use Stripe, and now they're going to be able to take and pay with stable coins. You also have Square, one of the largest merchants in the world. They are going to begin accepting Bitcoin payments in the U.S. for the first time ever. Now, I'm a little less bullish on this one because let's face it, anyone who holds Bitcoin, I mean, I don't know. Like, I hold Bitcoin and I'm very hesitant to spend it. I'd rather not spend my Bitcoin unless the dollar goes through like hyperinflation. And then I can leverage my Bitcoin and get more bang for my buck. At that point, maybe. But at this current time, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying a $500 invoice or a $1,000 invoice with Bitcoin. I'm going to hodl my Bitcoin. I'm going to spend that fiat money. Any thoughts on these two announcements here?
No, this is makes sense. Yeah, okay. Makes a lot of sense.
All right, let's jump into the markets. Rob, go ahead.
All right, so we got Bitcoin over 111,000. So you know, we came down yet again down to that 110 region, and we've seen a bounce. Still, you like to get back up to 112, 113, 114 to feel comfortable that we're not going to lose this as support. I'm kind of on the fence, man. I got a lot of stables on the side. I'm prepared. I'm ready for a pullback if there is one. And then I'm also ready to pull the trigger on some alts if Bitcoin does just straight rally. I think that the altcoins will make up a lot of ground. The alts took a beating in the last week. And so there's a lot of value to catch here. And, you know, and once again, I like to go down the biggest gainers on the week and see where the money is, right? Where can you make money? And I think if you look back on the week and you go back far enough to where that big flash crash that we had on Bitcoin is mitigated, you can see here there are some projects that have done well. These are the ones that we've actually highlighted outside of the synthetics that we highlighted here in Studio Dash, Zcash, and BitTensor. And so if you had been paying attention to the channel, you took a position on one of these, more than likely you've made some pretty good returns. Now, But where's the money made? It's what's down the most here. So these things are all on discount. And if you do see Bitcoin lose that 110, these are going to be plays that are now on discount that are going to be even more discounted. It's like that, like the store closing sale. And then like the week before, they slash the already discounted prices even more. That's what you're going to get here. But just like a closing store that's only got a week left, there's really not much left on the shelves. So you gotta do some searching to find anything worth a damn in there. But going down this list, is there anything here that stands out that's down that's down on the 7-day, over 40% down? I think we're both in agreement that artificial superintelligence, or fetch, is on the way out. It's really not looking good. MYX Finance.
Know, hold on. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Were you bullish on Fetch AIs a year ago?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a shift. We're starting to see that Fetch founders start to be more vocal. They're doing things, although who knows if they'll have an impact. And yes, they missed the whole AI run, but we can argue their decision to do the rebranding in the middle of the AI run was not a good idea. I don't think I'm ready to ship it on this one, man. I'm really not. Maybe Ocean Protocol was a cancer in that ecosystem. Maybe they were holding them back. Maybe now it's like, hey, I'll show you. It's like a revenge rally. I don't know. But I'm not ready to give up on this thing.
I grabbed a shovel, I think it was 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, and I said, I have zero interest in ever buying this. And this is one of my very few projects in the top 100, the top 200 that I just see absolutely no value in from my own personal perspective. I think that it is not even, we're not even sure if AI as in its sector is going to rally. I've already written it off.
Sure. I'm pretty sure.
I've written it off. Even if it does, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance has already signaled to us that it won't rally even if AI does. So if AI doesn't rally, it's done. If AI rallies, it's more than likely done. And so I don't know, man. It's just like, why would you put, if I gave you $1,000 and say, hey, go invest this in some AI, you're going to put it in BitTensor, aren't you? Or virtuals?
Yeah, but
then why the hell would you put it in this?
No, if we get down to like 25 or 20 cents, I would buy them.
I can't buy these things on the way out, man. You know, it's
That's
like
you assuming it's on the way out, though.
It is on the way out.
I don't know.
Their own company they merged with is on the way out.
One project left. The other two.
It's a 30% of one third of the team left.
Like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just I'm not ready.
My thing is, like, guys, like, here's the thing. If you're gonna buy something at rock bottom prices, buy it in a bear market. Buy stuff in a bear market when it's been absolutely obliterated. Right now we're in a bull market. Don't buy things leaving, buy things going up. It's just the fundamentals to making money. You want to, like, when everything has been gutted, in 2018, 2019, 2020, buy a crap ton of things that have been liquidated. Right then, it's about as cheap as it gets. It's almost as close to zero as you're going to get it. You buy those then. You don't buy the trash. You don't buy the things that are on the way out, the things that have been just gutted. You don't buy those in the bull market. You buy things on the way up. You buy something small that's making some moves. You don't buy something that was big and now it's on the way out. Like if it was middle of 2027, Fetch AI was number 245 on the market cap list and its price was half a cent, then cool. That's a different conversation then. But right now, in a top 100, $700,000 market cap, hell no, I ain't touching that. So, no, absolutely not. I'm making money, bro. Making damn money. Crypto Prince says, I made more money buying blood.
Buying or selling? Very weird. Who buys blood? Oh, he's saying blood in the markets. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's, yeah, but there's so many good projects on discount. Why even waste your capital, man? Unless you got like unlimited stable coins just hanging out and you're like, you know what? Let me throw some here and throw some here. Me personally, I got a finite amount of stables on the side, man. I gotta be smart with what I do with those. Try to make as much money as possible. I ain't holding nothing for well, maybe this one will come back in 2028. I'm like, hell no. I'm making some money right now. I ain't got time for this. Pumped out funds down 38%. I think this might be a good pickup. I think this might be a good pickup. Probably because I'm going long on Solana ecosystem. Going so long when this Solana ETF goes live. Bitcoin rebounds, gets back over. You don't think Bitcoin's top came in, right?
No.
Okay, so Bitcoin's top didn't come in, so alts are going to rally. You're going to have the Solana ETF, and altcoin ecosystem will do well. It's either going to be ETH or Solana, for sure, and then maybe some other stuff sprinkled in. But pumped out fund just makes a lot of sense. I don't know if right this moment's the best time to buy, but it's on discount, down 40%. It's an all-time chart here. This was upon airdrop at 0.09 or 0.009. Currently at 0.3. It was there back in September. That was when altcoins were starting to rally, doing very well. You saw another rally here. Oh no, excuse me. This wasn't last December. This was just recently. So yeah, it's been up there, man. It's fallen quite a lot in the last month, bro. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna reverse. I don't think pumped out fund will reverse in the next 3 weeks. I wouldn't put in a long position. But I do think picking it up at 0.003 and waiting it out maybe a month or two, I think is you'll be in a good spot.
I think Aptos is an interesting one too.
Yeah.
Not a lot of talk about it, but there's some stuff happening behind the scenes with Aptos.
I have to agree with you on this one. This is something that it doesn't hold these, like, look at it doesn't hold its price very long when it gets into new all-time highs or near it. And so
it's about as clear as move your cursor. It's about as clear as head and shoulders patterns you can get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what is it at? 4 billion fully diluted?
Yeah, this thing is.
Yeah, that might be riskier, but a good pickup.
Yeah, you pick this up, you sell it when it gets. I mean, you can safely clear out at $12. You just simply bought this right now and waited 4 months. You're gonna find a $12 price to exit. That's a 4x almost, 3.5x.
Yeah, and I would feel
very confident. Now the thing is, do you got 4 months to speculate? No.
I do want to, I said we're going to have an exciting announcement. Well, here it is. Take a look. We are officially on BlockMiner. Those of you that have been following us, you know, we talked about BlockMiner a few months ago. We're officially live, the Vegas coin. If you've never used BlockMiner, you essentially mine the coins, and it's fair launch. We didn't get a pre-allocation. We got to mine our own coins, which, by the way, I'm about to do right now. But this is us on the homepage. It's called Vegas. If you click on it, you go to blockminer.fun. You'll see it on the Explore page. You click Vegas. You connect a Bitcoin wallet. I use Xverse. Throw some Bitcoin in there. If you want to mine the coin, you got to buy some energy. You just got to click this plus. And then you can go in here and you can commit mining rigs. And this is currently in pre-mine. It's going to last around 14 days. After the pre-mine is complete, they take the money and they put up the liquidity, and then, hey, there you go. Right now it's sitting at $423. Just launched this morning. We do have, I launched a rig just to make sure, and I'm actually going to, we're going to be launching more rigs on this one as well. And so you can see our position here. One rig over 14 days, it's 1 energy per. And we're going to, let's go ahead and launch. Let's go ahead and launch another rig, SEC2, and we'll do another 7 rigs on this coin. And then you launch the rig. It's pretty simple. You can pre-mine these. And so, yeah, we'll be covering this shortly. This is not something that it's like, we launched it, we're going to sell it. No, we're going to mine it. We're going to hold on to our coins. They do distribute creator fees, much like Pump.Fun in Bitcoin. And so it incentivizes the people that launch the coin to not have to only be able to make money by selling the coin, essentially dumping on the community. So as volume ramps up, we get paid from the fees, from the liquidity pool. And so there's alignment with the community and obviously the creators. 20% of the token supply and the Bitcoin used in the mining are then added on ritswap.io. And so we're excited. We're going to keep sharing this. We're going to keep showing this. I'm actually going to go ahead and repost this thing. And so they made a lot of changes. I know the people behind this platform. They are solid people who have been in the space for a very long time. They'd like to remain anonymous. I'm not going to dox them. But yeah, if you want more info, go to blockminer.fun and you'll see us on the homepage. And so pretty exciting, pretty awesome. They took like the Pump.Fun model and they mashed it in with ordinals, runes, and mining. So
Go check it out. Go give it a little spin.
yeah.
Remember the good old days? Do you remember the good old days? Right here.
What is it?
And it was the playgrounds are built from wood.
You know, there's one literally right by my house, just like this. It's off of I'm not gonna say the street name.
Yeah, because here's the problem. Out here in Vegas, it's hot as hell, man. And everything's built from metal. Try to like
Bring back the wood.
Yeah, bring back the wood, man. Especially in hot ass Vegas, dude. I'm over here chasing my kids around, burning myself on all these pieces of metal.
It's nice and cold now, so this story would have been great 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay.
I miss the wooden.
You miss the wood?
Looks like a lot of splinters to me.
I know.
Yeah,
Rob misses the wood, guys.
I do.
The greatest wood. All right, I'll be doing a trading show live in 10 minutes. Come join me. Military Bro said, what's your take on Adam? I'll give you my take on Adam. By Adam, we mean Cosmos. When I do the trading show. With that being said, Gino, roll the outro. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. See me in 10 minutes.
Cash is cool, yeah. Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya.